Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to One Hub Racing Season 17, Round 9 here of the Championship, here in Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, the 9th round of the Podium tier. And I'm once again not alone. I'm joined by my co-commentator, cat named Minty. Welcome back.
Welcome everyone to the stream, and I'm really excited for tonight's race. It's going to be a very interesting race. I've been excited for it all week, and if you could run us through the track facts, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. So let's have a look at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, named after two brothers Pedro and Ricardo Rodriguez, who sadly lost their lives during the 60s and 70s. Both looked pretty quick in the past, but sadly they lost their life, and that's why this track is called Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, in an honor to these two. And some quick little track facts for this circuit. The track length is 4.304 kilometers long. The track has 17 corners, 7 to the left and 10 to the right. And we will see 36 laps for the drivers to compete for the overall victory. We have 3 sets of tires, of course. We've got the C4, the C3 and the C2. The C4 lasts 13 laps, the C3 lasts 17 laps, and the C2, the hardest compound, lasts 22 laps. Which will be quite interesting to see how the drivers will fare with the two-stop strategies. And a little fact about the pit stop itself: you will lose around 20 seconds in the pits, so the drivers need to be careful with that. And the last winners here on this circuit in One Hub were, or the last podium finishers were Boris in P1, Nexus Iceman P2, and Pizza Parker in P3, our last season's champion of One Hub podium tier. Alright, Minty, so that was the track. What is your opinion on this circuit?
I mean, it's a great circuit to overtake on, but just before we move on to my opinions on it, I just wanted to mention that White Fountain actually won here Mexico last time out, but this was in precision tier, so he has a lot of experience with the track. He already won here, so he could be one of the favourites, but as I said before, overtaking I think will be pretty easy, especially with the really long DRS straight, one of the longest on the calendar. And I mean, very technical sector too, and some drivers such as Vitinho mentioned that it will be very easy to extend track limits there, so we could see a lot of qualifying laps go in the bin there.
Yep, that's a good fact. And speaking of Vitinho's opinion, yeah, there was a question in the post-race interview where the drivers were asked of their opinion on the circuit, and some people said it was a cool track like Vitinho, but there were even some people who didn't like the circuit, like Cam, and yeah, he wasn't a big fan of the circuit, but will it be a big factor for the title, Minty? I mean, we are close to the season finale, so Cam doesn't need a track like this, or does he?
No, I mean, if it rains, I think he'll be a very happy boy, as I mean, at Vietnam he showed at the start of the Grand Prix how quick he is in the wet, and even at Baku he showed us how quick he is. So if it rains, he's going to be over the moon, but if it doesn't, I have a feeling he'll maybe struggle a little, which really won't help him in the championship, as he is 20 points behind Vitinho.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, before we go on with the rest of the Media Day stuff, let's mention the sponsors pretty quick. So we've got Next Level Racing, the sponsor for the Going Gets Tough Award, where I have to finish outside the top 3, was it?
Yes.
You have to complete all the interviews and you have to do all the races to win a wheel stand, I believe. So they will be one of the sponsors. And another sponsor, I just have to look at the notes again. Yep, the next sponsor is Time to Print 3D. As we've mentioned in Vietnam, they will produce 3D printed key rings from the track we are racing. So now would be from the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez here. And they have provided a 20% discount code on Twitter. I think if you can check it out, of course. You will see a code there. And if you want to have a cool keyring, you can check out their site. Minty, you can continue.
Now, two other sponsors that One Hub do indeed have are Vespertine and Liam RBS, who are both content creators, if I'm not mistaken, and they both provide trophies for the drivers and for the commentators championship, for example. So, I mean, great work from them to provide us with such facilities, and that will definitely make the drivers happy.
Absolutely. And whilst the session is about to start, Minty, do you want to go through the results and the standings from last week's race?
I will indeed. I'll go through the results from last week at Hanoi first. It was Vitinho picking up finally his first win after a really long time, it seems like it. It was around 10 weeks, I want to say, from the start of the season till his first victory. That's why he is leading the championship. Then Kong Offner is finished in second, picking up 17 points. White Fountain from pole position, he finished in third position, so a bit of a letdown for him. TC with his best results so far in One Hub, doing a great job in the Alfa Romeo, really boosts him and the team in the standings. Then Ali B finished in fifth, Cam finished in sixth. Then the two Williams of Whitey and Lawrence D finished seventh and eighth. Then SD Mats finished in ninth, collecting 4 points. ART Dexter finishing in 10th, picking up 3 points, so that's a double points finish for Alfa Romeo. Then MFC Trunders finished in 11th and Rich 500 finished in 12th. Then the two fastest lap awards went to White Fountain, who finished third, and outside the top 10 it was Rich 500. Driver of the day went to TC after a vote between him and Vitinho.
Alright, thank you for going through the results of last week's race. Do you want to go through the standings as well?
Yes, I will. I will start with the driver standings. It is Vitinho, who is the championship leader with 113 points. In second is his Mercedes teammate of White Fountain, who sits on 101 points. Then, just 3 points behind White Fountain is Kong Hoffner on 98 points. Cam is in fourth on 93 points, 20 points behind Vitinho, and he will be definitely the dark horse going into this race for the championship. In fifth is Rich 500 on 53 points, and right behind him is Estimat on 50 points. Triby has gone 43 points so far, which puts him in seventh. The Williams of Lawrence is in ninth position on 33 points. On the same amount of points as him is ART Jordan. The Australian man himself, Zipa, is in 11th on 23 points. The Alfa Romeo of TC has jumped up a lot of positions and sits only 2 points behind Zipa in the standings currently, leaving him in 12th. With the same amount of points as him is another Belgian of King J. And right behind them is Zexexter, who is also on the same of points, 21 points. Then in 15th is Ali B. In 16th is YC on 16 points. Aero Specialist is in 17th. And in 18th is MFC Trunders, first of the two McLarens. Then rounding out the grid is just Mikey, the second McLaren, with only 1 point so far. And Sir Quinniff with still 0 points in the championship. So he'll be looking to definitely pick up some points in the last 2 rounds. And then going on to the Constructors' Championship, some big news coming from there. Mercedes have won the Constructors' Championship last round. So that's it in the Constructors, at least for the top step. Then in second are Ferrari, who are in a fight for second position on 121 points. And 7 points behind them is Renault on 114 points, and then a further 11 points behind them is Racing Point on 103 points. The second Italian team, AlphaTauri, is on 65 points, which leaves them in 5th. The sister team of Red Bull is in 6th position on 53 points, and Williams are sat in 7th on 49. The Alfa Romeo team is in 8th position on 42 points, and the American outfit of Haas are on 33 points. And dead last in the standings are McLaren, who have only picked up 28 points, so they'll be looking to improve on that tally going into the last 2 rounds.
Alright, thank you very much for the standings. Also see Sir Gwyneth putting in the first lap time, which was immediately beaten by Kong Hofner. A 1 minute 14.4 by the Danish Ferrari driver. And, well, I mean, he's definitely a man on a mission. Because he needs to, of course, hope for a miracle that Vitinha might have a bad race. Because if we look at the podium tier permutations, we will notice something that if Vitinho wins, for example, that Kong Hofner must finish in 2nd. So he needs to try everything he can to be as close to Vitinho as possible, or even beat him to at least stay in the title fight. But the same goes to the other people like Cam or White Fountain.
I mean, it's really close up there in the top 4, and Kong Hofner, as we saw in the pre-race interviews, he's not looking very confident. Bit like Rich 500 earlier in the season. He just said, Kong Hofner just said that he wants to secure 3rd position in the standings, not even aiming for the 2nd position. So, I mean, it's not looking like he really believes in himself, but I mean, if he does the job, he could well get that 2nd position, or even the championship if it goes alright for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing now. Which driver does believe the most in himself? Was we see a little spin from White Fountain there. So the man who has got a bit of experience here in one hub, who has won the race in position tier, thanks to the statistic there, Minty. So he is experienced at winning on the circuit. If he can win today, we will find out in the upcoming minutes. Oh, we see Whitesea eliminating himself, or eliminating his lap at the second to last corner around this track. I was just trying to look for a driver for a little track guide, but doesn't seem to be at the moment. Well,
Vitinho is on a lap.
Yeah. And this first sector was decent. It's a 28.2 in the first sector, but still not good enough in comparison to Kong Hofner or even Zeepa.
I mean, Zeepa, he's been up and down this season. Sometimes he doesn't show up to races, but when he does, he usually gets a decent result. I mean, he got 2nd in the first round, and then later on, just checking down at Baku, he got 7th position, but after that he really got nothing. So, I mean, some point paying positions, and I mean, it does put him in a decent place in the championship, but it's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, Zeepa, he proved it last season as well. He is a decent driver. Whilst Vitinha put himself in P4, Cam put himself in P2 with a tyre which is 3 laps old. So there's definitely something more into Cam.
Yeah, there definitely is, and I mean, Cam, as you said before, earlier in the stream, he doesn't enjoy the track, and I mean, if he's putting up these kind of lap times on a track he doesn't enjoy, he could finish pretty high up, which would aid him in his championship fight.
Yep, absolutely, and it would be even sweeter, I believe, for the driver himself. And well, let's have a look at someone else. Well, let's have a look at ST Mats. Yeah, the racing point. Oh dear, that was a big cut. So lap time invalidated there. So yeah, Minty, to Racing Point. I mean, they really have dropped off in the past races. So now they're not even championship contention anymore. So what are they going to do for next season?
I mean, going on from season 16, it was looking uh, very good for them, and then yeah, it just really fell off. First two races, both the drivers won, and then I think the drivers maybe burnt out, or it was just a fluke those first two races. So if I was well, team principal of Racing Point and Podium tier, I'd be looking for maybe a new driver lineup, one driver, two new drivers potentially. I mean, they aren't uh, driving to the standards of the previous season, so I don't think not one hub. Racing Point is happy with that.
Yeah, maybe. Um, well, let's have a look at White Z. Just trying to find some things to mention. Um, yeah, I mean, we could talk about TC at the moment, the driver of the day from Hanoi, as voted by you guys. I mean, he was invited to drivers' press conferences, and he was asked what happened to him during this season, that he's now finding the pace, and he said that he switched over to no assists, which is a good thing, in my opinion, and that he is feeling a bit more comfortable now. So, Minty, can we expect him to be even quicker in the future?
I mean, I sure hope so. He was looking great at the end of last season, and now, I mean, at the end of this season, he's also looking great, and he's definitely on a high. So, I mean, if he keeps improving, he's right now in 8th position, right behind the likes of Trebia and Zipa. So, I mean, if it keeps going like this for him, we could see maybe a top 6 challenge for him in the future.
Yep, and here we have a look at TC. His first sector looked like an improvement, and was. It is definitely on par with some of the drivers like Lawrence D or even White C, the two Williams. So the first sector definitely was a decent one. And now it comes to sector 2, a tricky section here, because you need to have the perfect balance of the car. Not that much understeer and not much oversteer. And the second sector was even better. It is a pink sector 2. It's not pink, it's purple. I'm sorry for that little mistake. I'm turning into Murray Walker there. But now come to the final section. What will it be for TC? And it's a 1 minute 14.3. What a good lap.
Yeah, that's a blistering lap from the Belgian driver, and that puts him on provisional pole position. I think that time will be beaten with 7 minutes remaining. But that just shows how much he has improved in the last few rounds, going from being kind of at the bottom of the grid, just a back marker, and now to getting some very good points and qualifying positions right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not too bad. Let's concentrate on White Fountain for a short moment. He's coming through the final sections. He's having the fast second sector. What will it be for Fountain? A 1 minute 14.0. He definitely means business here. What a good lap time from White Fountain.
Yeah, it's an amazing lap, and he's, as you said, a man on a mission. I mean, I think it will be his 3rd championship if he wins this. Yes, it would be. So, I mean, he definitely wants that 3rd championship. Even though it's in podium tier, it's still a championship to his name. So he'll be fighting Vitinho, Cam, and Kong Hoffner today and next week at Japan for the championship.
Oh, I definitely can't wait for the title decider. Another close one, as it seems. Yeah, I mean, I just looking through the interviews, and another interesting thing is the approach on this circuit. And some people mentioned they were trying to come in calm and not that stressed, and people like Whitesea mentioned that they want to get the setup right and they want to stay out of trouble. Was also want to mention that Vitinho makes it a Mercedes 1-2 the moment. Good lap time by the Brazilian. But Minty, about the point of the approach, how do you think the drivers will behave today? Or will it go on this Grand Prix?
definitely into turn one. Other drivers will be quite conservative going into there. You can go, I want to say, four wide into turn one, but through turn one, that's really maybe max two drivers can fit through there. So they'll definitely be off the throttle a little at the start, and later on, I think drivers will get more and more aggressive as they go on. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if we see some moves at the start of Sector 2 or at the end of Sector 3, but through their sections, I'm not seeing anyone really going for a pass.
Yeah, this was also a question in a previous interview where people were asked if some cars will make up some positions in lap 1 where there might be some more chaos. And yeah, some people like Kong Hofner mentioned that that he hopes that some people will break in time for the first couple of corners. So yeah, there's some people not really fully trusting the others, I believe. I think that's understandable, especially on this circuit here with this fast approach to the first corner.
Yeah, it really is. This is where we saw, if I'm not mistaken, the record for the top speed by Valtteri Bottas somewhere at the start of the hybrid era. So it was around 372 kilometers per hour. Not too sure on that one, but it was pretty fast. So yeah, I mean, it is a very fast approach into turn one.
Especially with slipstream, it could be quite fun for the drivers. And now we have a look at Tribe, the Red Bull driver. And yeah, now he's into sector 2. Had a decent first sector. Let's have a look into his second one. Does look good. Might not be purple. Got reminded by this little fact. And yeah, now we are approaching the final sector. And the final two corners are awaiting us. And where will Tribe end up? It will be in P9. Okay.
Yeah, decent lap from Tribe, and I think he's happy right now that he's beating his new teammate Ali B after a late switch between Ali B and Liam RBS.
Yeah, I do believe so as well.
Yeah, I think Tribe B will be happy with that, but he is definitely striving to get a little bit more out of this car.
Absolutely. Well, it's now the final minutes of qualifying are approaching. It looks like Ferrari is playing the slipstream game, if I'm looking correctly. That Zipa is driving at front and Kong Hofner is behind.
I mean, it would be great for Ferraris, especially while Zipa is out of the championship race by a mile, and Kong Hofner isn't. But Kong Hofner is slowing down, so maybe some miscommunication, or else just they wanted to go well, one by one into this qualifying session.
Yeah, but now it will be really important here for the drivers. Now it's time to decide who's on pole position for the Grand Prix. And I think Zipa is one of the first guys who was setting a lap, if I'm correctly. It does look like it. Yep, does look like it. The first sector from Zipa was an improvement. Yep, wasn't. But Kong Hofner is improving by approximately 2/10. So Kong Hofner's found some time. Will be crucial here for the fight of the pole position here in Mexico. Might not be the best position, I admit, because of the slipstream in the first lap. So, well, we will see how it ends up, but it's definitely not the most ideal position. Oh, now we see some traffic jam in the final sector. Zipa is in his final sector now. Tribe has retired in the pits. Oh, look at LB. He's definitely slowing down there. This is getting quite dangerous now for some of the drivers. Zipa's coming out the southern straight. It's P5 for now, but what about Kong Hofner? It's P2.
A little bit of a wiggle of the steering wheel, and maybe a little bit mad that he didn't get that pole position off of White Fountain. And now, I mean, it's all to play for pole position. King J in 6th position. So yeah.
And now Lawrence is in 5th. And you see Cam in the lap. White is completing his lap. He's also proving he's on P4. So let's have a look into the Mercedes. I think no one is improving at the moment. So neither Vitinha nor White Fountain. But I think who's improving might be Zeepa, if I'm looking correctly. Yeah, he does. He's even on a lap. So this should be interesting. I think White Fountain has got illegal. No, he's cut the corner. Vitinha spun. So both Mercedes can't improve for now. So this is getting interesting. TC can't improve. What about Zeepa? He is actually improving, but I think it might not be enough for pole position. But maybe for the first row. But only just. We will see. He's coming out the suffers. He's actually taking pole. But look at how close it is between P1 and P2. That is insane. And
That
James
is extremely
P5.
close.
Oh
And
my
now
god.
Cam, he's still coming onto the finish line. What will it be? It's only 6th position. But Zeepa with an outstanding lap. Absolute dark horse here tonight. Finishing in 1st. 2nd, White Fountain, Kong Hoffner in 3rd, and Vitinha in 4th. And, I mean, it's a great qualifying session for the Ferrari so far.
But that came out of nowhere. That was a superb lap by Zeepa on his 2nd try. Wow, that was an absolute shocker for maybe White Fountain, maybe for Vitinha. But it's definitely a decent split now. Because if the start is going right, maybe we'll have some fun between Ferrari and Mercedes, just like in the past seasons.
Yes,
Of
it
real life
might
F1,
be.
of course.
Yeah, in real life F1. And, I mean, 0.021 of a second separating them two. And if you go run us through the qualifying results.
I can do. So Zeepa P1, then White Fountain P2 ahead of Kong Hofner. So a Ferrari 1-3, then Vitinha P4. Then we have James Dover P5, Cam 6th, White C 7th, then TC, Lawrence Lee, and King J rounding up to top 10. Then we have Ellie B, Estimats, Jordan P13, Triby, Quinniff, Tronders, Just Mikey, and Aero Specialist rounding up the field. But I think if I'm seeing it correctly, the top 13 or the top 14 are actually within a second.
Yes, to be exact, 0.65 of a second, and I mean that's really close up there. And yeah, top 13, that's outstanding. I mean, from the drivers, it's really close up there, and it really could have been anyone on pole here tonight, but it ended up with Zeepa, and he was the fastest man on track.
Absolutely, and let's wait for a race now. We have got some decent drivers here with a decent qualifying gap, so maybe this race will be exciting, unlike the past races. So yeah, I'm not asking the prediction question, Minty, because we are quite famous for jinxing people, so we are not doing this.
Yeah, I don't think we should really be doing it because from history, whoever we pick usually retires or just does a bottle job. So, I mean, what do you think the strategy will be for tonight's race?
Yeah, I think many people come into the pits quickly, especially those ones who are starting with the soft tires, to switch quickly to the mediums or even to the hards. Because, I mean, the soft tire is really the most ideal compound here in Mexico because of the high tire degradation, the high temperatures. So the drivers will have to think wisely how to deal tire situation.
Yeah, they definitely will, and with maybe dirty air in Sector 2, that will hinder them even more, so you're getting into that clear early on could help these drivers out.
Yeah,
So now,
and if it's okay, I will just drink something pretty quick. I will be back in a second.
no problem. As the predicted pit stop strategy from the race, as showing on my screen, is a 2-stop from the softs onto the softs again and onto the mediums. I doubt any driver will be doing that. If I was to predict, it would be a soft, medium, medium, as Johannes said. So yeah, James Dovey lining up in 5th. So good qualifying from him, and definitely a bad qualifying for Cam, who is in 6th. He'll be looking to improve on this position in the race.
So I'm finally back, and well, I would say it is a bad qualifying for Cam, but it's still, I mean, it's still a decent position, but in relation to his rivals, it is, of course, not the best qualifying session.
Yeah, I mean, he'll definitely be looking to improve on this. Try to get past James Dovey early on, and see if I could really mix things up here. As I mean, without him, and if Cam would overtake James Dovey, it would be a top 4 of just the championship leaders. So it will definitely get very interesting.
Absolutely, as we're awaiting the start eagerly. So Zeep on pole, White Fountain alongside him. Then behind, we have Kong Hoffner, who will come pretty soon, hopefully. And Vitinha then 4th. Which driver will be P1 after the first couple of corners? This is the big question here for the start. We're just waiting for the perfect cam. I'm just waiting for the lights to go on. Not yet. There it is. So the fireflies are coming on. And it's go time here in Mexico. And who has got the best start? So from this perspective, it's quite tough to tell. It looks like both have got an equally good start. Zeepa's start was quite good, but White Fountain now, with a little bit of slipstream, is going the inside line. He might take the lead, and someone has a disconnect, and it looks like Zeepa might stay ahead of White Fountain, but Konghofner stays in 3rd. Cam, meanwhile, is P4. How do you do that? And look at the front, White Fountain is still attacking, and White Fountain is taking the lead from Zeepa ahead of Konghofner. So good start, a good beginning for the race for White Fountain. A shocking one for Vitinho. He's dropped all the way back to P6, if the timing is correctly.
Yes, it is. It was a shocking start for him. Cam just got him on the inside, off turn 1. And so did James Dovey, and now Vitinho is back on the attack. He's going around the outside of James Dovey, and that's him into 5th position, now behind Cam. And Kong Hoffner will be looking to get past his teammate Zeepa, and I have a feeling there will be some team orders here at Ferrari, because, I mean, Kong Hoffner can't afford to be stuck behind his teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. There needs to be something ruled here for these two. Whilst we have the infamous timing glitch here on the game. Luckily it isn't on... Is it? I think... Yeah, I think the task is already glitched as well. Thank you, game, for... Oh, look at that. I think it's Konghofner going alongside. Look at that. Konghofner is still trying to make the move, and he has made the move. But look at Cam. I think he's also alongside him now. But will he make the move? It's tough to call. He did make the move. So Cam is now in 3rd place, I think. Yep, he is in 3rd.
Yes, he is, and now Kong Hoffner is locking up everywhere. And I mean, it was a great overtake on Zeepa from Cam. I think there was a little bit of team orders. We saw Zeepa pull into the slipstream of Kong Hoffner, but now Cam took advantage of that. He dived down the inside, now up to 3rd position, and I think you will be now stuck behind the Ferrari unless he makes a move on him pretty quickly.
Yeah, this is the danger of sticking behind the teammate of a championship contender. You might make the life a bit hard, especially when the teammates respect each other. And this might not be the best situation for Vitinho. He might need to make the move quickly, but he really can't make it in the moment. Meanwhile, Cam is sticking behind Konghofner for now.
There's no
Ooh.
DRS yet to play with, so it'll make it difficult for the drivers to overtake right now. And still no DRS for these. And I mean, Cam has to stay back behind Kong Offner for at least another lap.
Yep, that's the thing, but maybe a mistake could change everything. And, well, looks like Cam is quite quick in the earlier part of the race. Oh, I was just confused by the lag. Sorry, guys. I think Cam's internet isn't really the best. Whilst Kong Hofner is trying to pull away, but look at what Fountain. He's already got a little gap towards the Ferrari. So I think his start, or his first couple of laps, are actually pretty good.
They really are 1.8 second gap now, going on to lap 4. So he's doing a great job commanding the lead so far, and Connor will be looking to catch back up to him. Now, the fight for second position, I think Cam will be a little bit too far away from Kong Officer to make the move on him. At least he dives into turn 1. Will he go for the dive? No, he doesn't. He doesn't do a Vietnam. I think that was the race where he absolutely dive bombed someone and missed.
And he might stick behind for yet another lap. So the gap wasn't good enough for Cam to make the move. But look at Kong Hofner. He's really locking up a lot. That's not really helpful for the tyre.
It really doesn't help, but so is White Fountain. He is also locking up everywhere, and the gap has gone down to 1.3 seconds. Now, so around 6 tenths Kong Offner made up in that first sector, and White Fountain is really looking off on this lap.
Yep, I think he made a big mistake somewhere. But for now, he's still in the lead. He still has a decent gap towards Kong Hofner. But Hofner might pull away from Cam at the moment. It definitely looks like it.
Yeah, it does seem like 8 tenths the gap is, but Cam will have DRS now on the Ferrari driver. So that will compensate for him losing a little bit of time, especially in sector 2 and 3. So, I mean, that's what is keeping him up with Kong Hofner so far.
Yeah, whilst we see Jordan on the charge, he's made up some positions. He's passed the teammate of Cam, King J. So Jordan up to P7. So at least here we are seeing some little moves. Whilst here in front, it's still pretty calm, at least for now. Whilst in the back, we are also seeing some little battles here between the drivers. We had a look at Aero Specialist, who has fought against just Mikey in the McLaren. And I think now everything is settled also there.
It does seem like now, I mean, going back up to the front fight, White CS catching up to Vitinho, and Vitinho was outside that 1 second that Zipa needs to pull away. Well, Zipa just completely bottled it going into sector 2 and lost all the time he gained. Now Vitinho is back on him again. 7 tenths the gap is. And we might see a move on him.
Yeah, but I think that's still not enough. At least in my opinion, the DRS is a bit late. It's not early on. Oh, but he's catching. He's already pulling into another side. But he will stay behind, at least for now. So, Vitinho does look a bit quick here, but he just can't make the move. I mean, it's quite tough at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, I'm surprised that these drivers are finding it so difficult. Feeling Vitinho has to get on the power a little bit earlier, going out of the exit of the last turn 17, to make a move, as there's yellow flags in the sector 1. I'm not sure for who that was exactly.
Yeah, I can't tell you either. Just looking at the damage, it looks like
Estimat.
Yeah, he's got some damage. Ooh, yep. Ooh, he's cutting the corners there. Ooh, I'm not sure if that's allowed. But well, at least he hasn't hit someone. But look at LB. making a move against the Quinniff. Oh no!
Oh
He
no!
spins! And he spins round, and Sir Quinniff once again with no luck here whatsoever. But, well, I don't know who to blame for this one. I think we need to see some replays then to have a close look. Meanwhile, Vitinho is making a move against Zipa, and he's done it. I think, yeah, he's done it.
Yeah, he has, and it's a great overtake from Vitinho, and now Cam, he's right on the back of Kong Ofner. Will he go for the move? Is he close enough? No, he isn't, and Vitinho doing an amazing job right now. Now he's going to have to catch up by 3 seconds to get to Cam, or 2 seconds to get to his ERS range, but now Cam, Kong Ofner in front of him, locking up a lot, so Cam right at the back of him. I mean, he was nearly touching him through the first part of Sector 2, but now he messes it up a little, and I mean, behind him, Vitinho, he is in clear air right now. 7 tenths, 8 tenths now. He made up on these drivers, so he's looking blistering quick right now.
Yeah, Vitinho has the chance to catch up a bit. Whilst, oh, look at that. Cam is actually now quite close towards Kong Hofner. Hofner is coming in. Same for White Fountain. Oh, he was nearly speeding the pit lane. Kong Hofner. Zipa's coming as well. I don't know what is Ferrari doing. That is... Oh, hang on. Look at White Fountain. Oh, dear me. What a poor timing there for the poor Mercedes of White Fountain. I think he was stuck in the pit lane. That's no glitch. That's true. He's behind Kong Hofner. Oh dear. Can you believe it?
That's unbelievable. At first I was thinking it was a Ferrari mess up. It might have been a Ferrari masterclass. I mean, Zipa might have done that on purpose, and if he did, that's some big brain stuff from him. Holding up White Fountain. I couldn't think of any other word to describe that. And I mean, it did the job. Kong Hofner in 11th, White Fountain in 12th. And Kong Hofner is on the soft compound tyres, so he will be on the faster rubber than White Fountain. So now it's his time to pull away.
Yep, now it's his job. He's got it, he needs to get it together, I wanted to say. And now he has the chance to at least stay ahead of White Fountain for the rest of the race, except for, of course, when Hoffman needs to pit early. That is quite interesting now. I mean, that was literally big brain stuff, but you know what? It might even give Vitinho and Cam a little chance to come out ahead of White Fountain.
It might do, and I mean, it's great news for them if they do. White Fountain now coming across the line, and he is going to be just behind Vitinho, or will he go for the overtake? Yes, he does. And that's him back in front of Vitinho. And I mean, Cam, he's in front of him, so that's provisional third for White Fountain. But I think there will be a massive scrap between the two Mercedes now, as they already have the Constructors' Championship sealed. They'll just try to, I mean, one up each other, try to get the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, I think now it's just fights with each other. I mean, they have nothing to lose now except for the driver's title. But I think that was literally big brain stuff from Ferrari. The first time I'm actually seeing a Ferrari driver doing a good strategy. So, yeah, that was literally, I think, the best strategy for Ferrari ever. To hold up what I found in the pits. That was literally good. And look at Kong Hofner. He might make the move against Trondus and LEB, who will stay out a bit longer. So if the rest will catch up to them, they might be stuck in traffic for a bit. But Fountain is reclaiming the fastest lap of the race with the medium set of tyre. So that's interesting.
Well, now Kong Hofner goes for a move on Ali B. It's getting really close between the two drivers. Ali B still down the inside. He knows he's not fighting for position here. And Kong Hofner absolutely carving his way through the field right now. Going up 2 positions in 2 sectors. So that's him up into 4th. And now he has 5 seconds of clean air. And Cam will now have to make the move on the two drivers ahead of him.
Yep, now it's his mission to push as hard as he can. If he wants to win a title, of course, and those are very important moments now in the championship. So Kong Hoffner now has the chance to edge a bit closer towards the others. Man, this is literally amazing stuff, I tell you.
It really is. Going back to Ferrari strategy, honestly thought it was just a mess by Ferrari. At first, I was like, "What are they doing?" No, they held up White Fountain, and it worked out for the driver who is in the lead, who's the lead driver so far in Ferrari. And yeah, I put on par with Michael Schumacher's stop-go at the last lap.
Well, could be, but now Cam is literally stuck behind Ali B, which is not really helping him because now White Fountain has a chance to edge a bit closer. Oh, look at that. Cam actually is stuck behind these two for a bit longer than needed. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, Trunders and Ali B are just having the battle of their life right now, going head to head. And Cam just has to, like, sit back, and usually you would be sit back, relax, get some popcorn, but tonight where it really matters for him, he is getting probably very frustrated by the two, back markers.
Well, this is maybe the worst time for Cam whilst James Stovey retired from the session. I was just about to say, he had a little spin in Sector 1, so unlucky for him. Whilst we already have 2 retirements in 12 laps. So this is not something positive for those drivers involved. Whilst Travis now coming in. Now it's literally a fight for third. On track at least. LAB is getting the position. Cam is passing Trunders. So Cam has at least passed someone now. But now LAB is the next one. And White Fountain and Vitinho are left to pass Trunders. But this should be an easy one because Trunders has got no DRS. Whilst the Mercedes have. At least White Fountain can make the move. But there's a huge lockup there. And now it could be a fight between Cam and White Fountain.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could. Cam, White Fountain, Vitinho now, he's the one stuck behind Trunders, but the two ahead of him are stuck behind Ali B, so yeah, the backmarker's getting really in the way of the championship leaders so far. And yes, while it is second position in provisional second position, as Vitinho grabs a 3-second time penalty, so that's more bad news for him.
Yep.
As after the race he will get a 3-second time penalty add on to his race. But now Cam, he will go for the move on Ali B as soon as he gets that DRS. Ali B will be probably a sitting duck down this straight. White Fountain going into the slipstream of Ali B. Will he be close enough to go for a move? Yes, he will be. He goes for the move. And he goes for a move on Cam, I think. No, he doesn't. It's really close between the two of them. Ali B has to park up on the apex. And now Vitinho, he'll try to go for the move on the Red Bull driver. And that will be 3 positions down for the Red Bull driver in 1 lap. Unless he defends from Vitinho. Vitinho now trying not to go wide through a lot of these corners. They're still going side by side. There's some great racing as Vitinho loses the traction a little. Clips Ali B's front wing, but that's him into 5th position. And Ali B has to stay back in 6th. But now up ahead of them, White Fountain, he will go for a move on Cam. He has DRS now, the 3rd DRS zone here. But he stays back for the pit straight.
Oh, this is smart thinking there by Red Fountain. This is the safe option to pass someone, and he might make it now. This is the big chance for Red Fountain to pass Cam, but he's pulling it away a little bit, but it's still enough for White Fountain to maybe make the move. And look at that, White Fountain with the DRS. He's putting to the left side now, and can he make the move? They're still side by side. No, now Fountain has passed Cam. And that's P3 for the Mercedes.
And that's provisional second after Aero Specialist makes his stop, who's on turning lap old mediums. And Connoffer are doing an amazing job so far. 5.8 second the gap is between him and the Mercedes behind him. And now Vitinho, he'll be trying to get a move on Cam, but Cam will also be trying to get a move back on White Fountain.
Yep, that's the goal, I think, for the Renault driver. If he wants to stay in the title fight. It isn't his most favourite circuit, but at the moment he's still doing a decent job. And, I mean, if he isn't able to catch up to White Fountain, he could still hold up Vitinho for a bit.
I mean, yeah, he definitely could. Vitinho definitely won't be looking forward to that. And, I mean, they might even try to hold up the championship leader, as he is the main man right now. He is the man that will eliminate the drivers. So, yeah, it's now that Aero Specialist into the pits. So Konghofner elevated up to first position and he leads the Grand Prix. White Fountain in second, Cam in third with DRS on White Fountain, and Vitinho in fourth with DRS on Cam. But Cam going really low on ERS.
Yeah, he's pretty aggressive here with his ERS, which could be a good factor for the beginning of the race, but a bad sign for the end of the race, where these things matter. And look at White Fountain, he's really locking up heavily now. Oh, Cam is losing the traction. This costs him some time. This is not good.
It definitely isn't, and I mean, Vitinho now 3 tenths behind him. And could we see him go for a move here? It's looking like a good spot for Vitinho so far. He made a move here on Trunders, and earlier on in the race he made a move here on a driver that I forgot the name of. Not too sure who that was he was battling with. And now, I mean, he's getting really close to Cam.
Yep, definitely. And maybe it will be enough for the move. As we'll see now, as he got DRS, DERS, and now he's on the left-hand side of Cam, and this will be an easy move for the Mercedes. So, Cam was passed by two Mercedes on the same straight, nearly the same level of the straight. So, actually, this might be a bit depressing for Cam to be passed by the Mercedes guys on the same straight. But I'm not so sure about that. But now, we have a Ferrari in the lead, followed by two Mercedes.
I mean, it's kind of travelling to the past, at least in real life F1, where we saw the Ferraris and Mercedes battling. We definitely didn't see our Renault up there in fourth, but I mean, he's doing his job right now. I think he might get eliminated from the championship fight with how things are going so far.
Yep, because if Vitinho finishes in third place, Cam must finish in second, and he's currently in fourth. So at the moment, he is eliminated.
Yes, he is, as I have to leave my commentary booth for a second, so I'll be back.
Alright, so I will take over for a short moment, whilst Gwyneth gets another 3-second time penalty. That's the thing we've talked about at the beginning with the track limits. It could be a crucial factor for this race, but at the moment, if I'm looking correctly, it might be a bit close between Vitinho and Cam, as Cam isn't willing to give up yet. But you need to be careful with the lag, because Cam is actually lagging on my screen, which is not really the ideal scenario. And well then. Yeah, let's have a look at Konghofner here for a short moment. I mean, he is really pulling away. Or he's not really pulling away. He's losing time to White Fountain. But I've just looked at the delta and the interval, and looked like Tribe and King J had a little battle for 10th position. Which is fantastic to see. Tribe gets a penalty. King J loses the control, gets a penalty as well. That's not really ideal. But yeah, I mean, penalties on this track could be harsh. But that's Mexico there, I'm afraid. Same story for Russia, but well,
And I'm back now, and as I'm seeing here, Cam is looking very eager to pass Vitinho soon. I mean, as you said before, Cam needs that second position to keep his championship hopes alive. And I mean, if Vitinho does finish fourth, Cam has to finish third. So if he just makes this move, that's him still in a championship fight, as King J gets a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. So that must have been a very hefty corner cut from him.
yep. I don't know where he's cut it, but that's definitely interesting to see. I'll just have a look through the penalties for short moment. We see people like King J having 24 seconds of time penalties. Tribe 12 seconds, Lawrence D 12 seconds, Quinniff 12 seconds. Wow, that is quite harsh.
Yes, that is. But now Kong Hofner pits in. His tires were on 70%, so he's really nursing them. And now for his last pit stop of the day, potentially, he'll drop down to around 50, I want to say, as Zipa stays out to potentially help him move on in the pack. So that's going off onto the medium Commonwealth tires with with just under half the race to go.
You just drop behind Tribe. Now he has to deal with traffic a lot more. Just like what found in Vitinho and Cam in the beginning of the second stint. But maybe now he can make the move. Look at that, he's quite fast. And that looked quite fast. Because that was a quick move by Kong Hofner. And Cam has a disconnect. Oh no. That is not good for his championship hopes.
Disaster for him, as he was 1.6 seconds behind Vitinho, and now he might even drop behind Aero Specialist if he doesn't come back in time. 2 seconds, and I think that might be his championship hopes over, as this AI just not doing very well. I mean, 1 second now the gap is between him and Aero Specialist 3.2 seconds to Vitinho, and when he comes back he has to gain all that back.
Absolutely, well, Zipa speeds in the pit lane. He was a bit too fast. I'm not sure if that's an early pit stop for another set of medium tires. What do you think?
It might be. I mean, you have to do sometimes some weird strategy calls to gain some positions, and I mean, if it works for him, great news for him. And now Kong Offner, he's behind White Sea, but just up ahead is CC and Jordan battling, and they're having some, I mean, nice overtakes between them two, and it's really the best of the rest right now.
Yeah, agreed. And this is actually nice to watch. I'm still interested at where Aero Specialist would drop. I mean, he has some fresh soft, so at the moment, I think he's right in the frame, I will suppose, for a good finish.
Yeah, he might be, and now Kong Hofner is going for the move on Whitesea, but as you were commentating that, Kong Hofner got a 3-second time penalty.
Oh,
So that leaves Cam and White Fountain without any time penalties.
at least some top guys. But this is going to be a crucial factor now for these guys. This is pretty crucial indeed. Was King J is the next one in pits. And he's actually retiring.
Aero Specialist going for a move on Vitinho round the outside, and that's Vitinho conceding the place. He's down into third. We see Aero Specialist on brand new softs, and Vitinho just, I think, does the smarter move, and lets him pass. I'm not surprised King J retired, as he had 27 seconds worth of time penalties. I think that would be one more and that's a disqualification.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite hefty, I believe, and now it's getting a lot more interesting, because Aero Specialist could be someone who might be a bit unfriendly towards the leaders. Whilst Vitinho gets another time penalty. So now Vitinho has, I think, 6 seconds. Yep, same
Yes.
as Aero Specialist, and he's coming in.
Well, that's already pissed off in my opinion for the medium runners. Not sure how long they can last exactly, but he was definitely losing pace to White Fountain, and now it's all for White Fountain and Cam to pit in, and then we'll see the true running order for the Grand Prix.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I also want to mention the gap between Kong Hoffman and White Fountain at the moment would be 17 seconds. And as you know, the time you lose in the pits approximately is about 20 seconds. So at the moment, Kong Hoffman might have a 3-second gap when Fountain actually pits.
Yeah, that would be very good news for the Danish driver, as he does have 3 seconds worth of time penalties. But White Fountain will be on fresher tyres. So, I mean, we just have to wait and, I mean, watch what happens.
Yep. But now Hoffner might have some issues with traffic. Because he's now dropping behind, or he's approaching Jordan. And now Fountain is actually in the pits.
Okay, that was just my game glitching a little. Cam isn't in the pit, so that's him into second position on track. Aero Specialist in first, but let's see. Kong Hoffner, he does get in front of White Fountain, and he does get in front of Jordan, while White Fountain, he drops right behind Tribe. That's bad news for him, and Vitinho, 5 seconds the gap is between him and his teammates, so he is praying that White Fountain will get stuck behind the Red Bull driver, but I mean, it does not look like it, as he is using overtake mode right now. Goes down the inside of Tribe, and that's him into second position. Now White's in front of him.
That is a very interesting scenario now. Now White Fountain has once again the job to get past the traffic quickly, and this could be an interesting fight for win between Kong Hoffner and White Fountain. I'm not ruling out the others like Cam, so this is getting pretty interesting indeed. Whilst Fountain has actually survived the first bit of traffic for now.
Yes, he has, but then he will have to get past Jordan and TC if they don't pit in anytime soon. And Kong Hoffner now going for a move on the Alfa Romeo. And, I mean, it's going to be a pretty easy move. He's not even using overtake mode. He has just the areas wide open on the main straight, and that's him into third. So, I mean, great drive from him so far.
Yep, absolutely. And now he has some clean air. I mean, ahead of him are two drivers who still need to pit. And one of them had a disconnect. So Cam, the man who sadly had the disconnect for a short moment, really a bit disadvantaged.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, only 4.5 seconds, 4.6 seconds, the gap between him and Kong Hoffner. But another driver that's very disadvantaged is, I mean, Vitinho just didn't have a great second stint, and I mean, he's now down in 9th, and he still has a lot of traffic to get through. Tribe, White Sea, Jordan, and TC.
Yeah, and this is not an ideal situation for him. And, well, it's not the best race of Vitinho, so maybe Japan things will get better. So, it needs to get better, of course. I mean, it's the finale nonetheless. So now Cam is in.
And where will Cam come out? You think he'll be in 10th? Yes, he is.
Yep.
While Vitinho is in 8th position. There's still a lot of drivers to make their pit stops up ahead, as scrolling through to Vitinho. It was Whitey and Tribe making contact, and Whitey loses a little bit of his front wing. So that will make Vitinho's job even easier to get past him.
Well, it depends on how big White Sea is actually blocking him. It really depends on this. So, ooh, you see the understeer from White Sea. Now Vitinho makes the move, and that was easier than I thought. So, good move there by Vitinho. And that means he's up to 7th. Only driver left at the moment would be Tri-B. And now Specialist is coming into the pits.
And that's his fall from first position. I wonder where he will come out. He's going on to another set of softs. So, I mean, he's looking very quick tonight, and he is kind of a dark horse. He might have just came out of nowhere and gotten a good result, as now White Fountain gets past ERT Jordan. The gap is 3.1 seconds between Kong Hoffner and White Fountain. White Fountain, though, on 4 lap newer tyres. So he does have the advantage here.
Yep, and he hasn't got a penalty, so that's good things for White Fountain there, and those will make the things pretty easy for him. While Specialist now makes the move against Tri-B. So an Alpha Tower, oh no, he isn't. Hang on, oh, there's a little bit of bumping, and Specialist still made the move, and luckily there's no damage. It seems, so everything is good.
Yeah, great overtake from Aero Specialist, and now he's right at the back of Vitinho, and that might even see Vitinho go down to 4th position. I don't think it will save Cam's race, but it'll definitely aid the championship hopes of White Fountain and Kong Hoffner.
Yep, I mean, if Vitinho drops down 5th, which will likely happen, I mean, Cam is out, so Cam isn't really in the best position, but you're definitely right. It will definitely help Kong Hoffman and White Fountain. While Specialist now makes the move, and that this will move him up to P3. Vitinho down to P4 now again. So yeah, now it's getting a lot harder now for Cam. So he needs to pray for a mistake from Vitinho.
Yeah, I mean, he really does, and 7.2 second the gap is. He is on new softs, and Vitinho is looking very iffy. And, I mean, if he gets the job done, then fair play to him. If I'm not mistaken, he would still be in the championship fight, but it's looking... The chances are getting slimmer and slimmer every lap.
Yep, those are crucial laps here. And... well, now we are really in an interesting scenario, even in front. So I would say we'll just concentrate on the top guys, and maybe even on Aero Specialist, and maybe also TC. He's also on the soft tire, and he just made a move against Zepa.
Yeah, TC doing an amazing job. As I said earlier, he is really improving day by day, week by week. And it's really showing in his results. He's in 6th position right now as Aero Specialist sets the fastest lap of the session so far. So that's him with an additional 1 point as Vitinho picks up another 3-second time penalty, which could see Cam get that 5th position.
Yeah. If it stays like this, Cam will move up to P4, Vitinho down to P5, and that means Cam will survive. He will stay in the title hunt. So now, this championship is getting even heavier now. It's getting more intense because White Fountain has got a time penalty. There it is. Now he has to fight on the track to beat Kong Hoffner for the race win. This is incredible.
My jaw absolutely dropped when I saw that. In 2 seconds the gap is, and he'll now be absolutely pushing to try to get Kong Hoffner, but both of them are on really low fuel. Both of them are trying to save fuel. They're just going above their required fuel, while Aero Specialist, with still 1 lap extra of fuel, he'll be trying to get in front of White Fountain and maybe even Kong Hoffner.
Yeah, but I mean, he still needs to have 3-second gap because of his 6-second time penalty. So this is getting blowingly interesting. So this is really a championship fight now, which will be an intense fight. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. I mean, White Fountain just needed to cruise home, and now he's got a penalty. And now it will be Kong Hoffner's job, who's dropping a lot of pace here. So this is not over yet, guys. This is not over. This will be a three-way fight for the race win, and this is absolutely insane.
Yes, it is. There's no aero specialist has DRS on White Fountain. Well, White Fountain, I think he's getting closer and closer to Kong Hoffner, so he will have DRS on him. And just wanted to mention, if I was Cam, I would be definitely saving, be very conservative on my laps.
Yep, those some imported laps now. Whilst I'm a bit shocked about Kong Hoffner's lack of pace. So somehow he just can't stay competitive at the moment. He just hasn't found the rhythm he needs. Just like Abu Dhabi, if you remember, back then. Both of them fought for the win. And at the end it was White Fountain who has won the race, I believe.
Yes, it was, but now Aero Specialist, he's getting really close to the back of the Mercedes. Will he go for a move? He looks to go around the outside, which will turn into the inside, but he doesn't. He locks up. But I just wanted to mention Kong Hoffner. His tires are on 46% with still 6 laps to go. So, I mean, he'll be definitely trying to nurse these tires home, and he might even have to sacrifice some positions to get home safely.
Yep. That's the thing. I mean, he would still be in a title fight, nonetheless. But, I mean, those are crucial points.
They really are, and especially when White Fountain is just 3 points ahead of the Ferrari driver. And, I mean, it's a 3-way fight for the race win. 4-way fight for the championship, and now Aero Specialist goes for a move on White Fountain. They both have DRS, but White Fountain has more ARS to play with. He goes for a move on Kong Hoffner. Aero Specialist has to sit back. Will he go for the dive bomb on the Ferrari driver? I think he does. Yes, he does. And now he is up into second position unless Kong Hoffner is still fighting back. Yes, he is. He's trying to hold it around the outside. He goes very wide onto the runoff, and he's back on the attack. Kong Hoffner, will he go for a move on Aero Specialist? No, he doesn't. As Aero Specialist with a big lock-up, and that's Kong Hoffner back in front of him, and Specialist with another penalty. And White Fountain now ahead in first position, and that could be his 3rd win this season, and win number 32 in his career.
That was absolutely mind-blowing here. What has happened? What an intense fight, and now it looks like White Fountain might be the favourite for the race win at the moment. But let's just wait until the checkered flag is falling. And at the moment, it's looking quite good from the Mercedes crew. It's not looking good for Kong Hoffner, but it's looking a lot better now for him due to due to the next time penalty from Specialist. Look at that! Specialist is so much quicker, but because of another time penalty he's got in the lap prior, he will have to push even harder, and this makes P2 for him nearly impossible.
Yeah, I mean, unless he does some magic, unless he flies over and just... I mean, he has to have a rocket at the back of his car to get that race win. Right now, Kong Hoffner, he's definitely nursing the tyres. He is locking up everywhere. Double lockups, and his tyres, his front left is on 55%, with still 4 laps remaining, 3.5. So, I mean, he is definitely nursing these tyres. He is driving at a snail's pace, and if I was him, I'd be avoiding these curbs at a must.
Yep, those are crucial moments now. And we see Specialist who will drop out of the contention. So we see him in P2. He will pass White Fountain soon due to the tires. And this will get crucial. He nearly loses it. And he could actually play with Fountain now. I mean, his soft tires might drop at the end, but I'm only say might, because it isn't really a must for now, because we're nearing the end of the race, so he could maybe play with White Fountain to even put him under pressure for yet another time penalty. So those are mind games now played by drivers who are not in contention for the championship anymore.
You're very correct with that one. Well, I mean, if Aero Specialist does get ahead of White Fountain, we might see, if I'm not mistaken, a British Grand Prix again, where, as I said, if I'm not mistaken, it was an AlphaTauri winning on track, but White Fountain got ahead on penalties and won the Grand Prix.
Yeah, but back then was James Dovey.
It was, but I mean, it's still an AlphaTauri, so it would be kind of deja vu for White Fountain. And now, Aero Specialist, he is definitely lining up a move on the White Fountain going into turn 1, and he will not want to lose traction again here, as he does a slight bit, but it's not enough to hinder him too much. And now he has CRS on the White Fountain. He goes for a move on him. I think White Fountain will just concede the position, as he knows that his rival here has 6 seconds worth of time penalties on him.
Yep. And now, as you mentioned, we might see the same scenario again as in Silverstone. And, well, Con Hofner, I mean, he really isn't on the pace at the moment. But you've mentioned his tire situation. He's on 63%. So, yeah, his tires are actually not too good.
Yeah, I mean, his tires are probably overheating extremely. They're probably like furnaces right now. And Con, as I said before, just trying to get it home and trying to secure the 3rd position. As he said, I don't think he means this 3rd position, but I mean, with Vitinho 6 seconds more time penalties than him, I think that is quite secure for him.
Absolutely. He just needs to keep it together, of course. But at the moment it looks safe. And let's jump back to the leaders group, because there are not many battles here on the track. A lot of lockups here for White Fountain and or Con Hofner. So, yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm just looking, Cam, he'll just be outside that 9 seconds. He'll be around 2 seconds away from snatching that last podium position from Aero Specialist, with 2 laps remaining and some old soft tyres for Cam. Don't think it will be happening.
Yup. And, well, I've actually mistaken myself. There is a little battle here for P8, while Sleeper gets another time penalty. 20 seconds worth of time penalties. So, the amount of time penalties, and that's another 3-second time penalty for Con Hofner. I think now White Fountain's win is nearly guaranteed. So, well.
Yes, it is. As I mean, he still has 6 seconds more to Aero Specialist, so it might even be a secured 2nd position. I just wanted to mention the fastest lap award is right now going to Aero Specialist with the fastest lap overall. And then outside the top 10, Lawrence C, who will be getting that 1 point.
So some more points for those drivers. Now it's up to Cam. He could finish on the podium as well. As I've just noticed, because of the 12-second time penalty from Specialist, Cam has a real chance of finishing on the podium. He just needs to be on the pace from now on. And he just doesn't need to drop off now.
Yeah, that's very true, and I mean, I would be very happy if I was Cam after that disconnect to potential.
Oh no! And there it goes.
We talked too soon, and I mean, that's Cam. I think that's him out of the championship fight, unless his AI does a miracle here to save him. And I mean, the gap is 8 seconds to Vitinho. I think that's over for him, but Aero Specialist comes across the line to grab second position and first on track. White Fountain wins the Grand Prix. Konghoffner in second, Aero Specialist in third, Vitinho in fourth, TC in fifth. ERT Jordan will come home in sixth, and Cam. Oh no.
Oh,
That's
that
him
is
out
actually,
of the championship. That's brutal.
yeah, absolutely. That is pretty unfair for Cam, but well, if the internet or whatever doesn't want to play with, it's kind of a shame. I just wanted to mention the gap between Vitinha and TC. It's only 0.02 of a second.
Yeah, and Cam, he would have done it if his. I mean, I have a feeling if his AI just didn't mess up where we were on about, the AI just kind of like steered right. If that didn't happen, I think he would have had that position on Cam as it was on Vitinho, as it was only 1.004 of a second.
Yeah, and also a little interesting fact, if you want to call it, Lawrence D was actually disqualified.
Now, I have a feeling if King J didn't retire in the pits, it could have ended like that for him as well. But on the top step of the podium here tonight is White Fountain, Konghoffner in second, and as I said before, Aero Specialist in third. Shame to see his time penalties really screwing him over at the end.
Yep, absolutely. But now there's the time for the drive of the day. Minty, who is your drive of the day?
Now, I really have to think about this one, as it was a very, interesting Grand Prix. I'd give Cam the pity vote, but I know this is not how the reward works. But Aero Specialist, he did a last to question mark challenge, starting 18th, and he got up to third position, first on track. My question to him is, what were you thinking on lap 1? Were you thinking of getting moves done quickly, or were you thinking of maybe switching off a strategy?
Well, I think for drive of the day there are a lot of candidates. Yeah, like Wet Fountain, Cam, who kept it clean without penalties. I think we'll give it to White Fountain. Simply he did a good job. He had a bit of bad luck with the pit stop, the first one especially, and well, at the end he kept it clean. He did all what he needed to do, and there was simply a well played drive and an intelligent drive by White Fountain. My question was if he was nervous after his time penalty.
I mean, if I was him, I would have been very nervous. A driver that is definitely got it is Cam. I mean, what are the odds that we just speak about him and he, disconnects from the session?
Yep. I mean, what a cruel game, or what a cruel season for Cam. He definitely would have had a shot at the title now, but it didn't seem like it. It just wasn't meant to be, and well, that's the end of his championship run.
I mean, it's a great fight up top, and going into the last race at Suzuka, Japan, it will be Vitinho, White Fountain and Konghoffner. Not sure about the order of the drivers in the standings, but it will be them three battling it out for the win of the championship. It's definitely going to be very interesting.
Absolutely. Alright, we're nearing the end of the stream. Samantha, do you have any more things to say?
No, not really.
Right then, so it was a decent race. It was a race packed full of strategic plays in terms of penalties. So, Minty, thank you so much for being here as the co-commentator, as always.
No problem. I mean, I'll gladly join you anytime commentating.
Alright, so now we will see us next week at Suzuka for the season finale of One Hub Season 17 at the Podium tier. Same time as always, thank you so much for watching, and please join the position tier who are racing now as well, I believe. So, yeah, that's it for us, and goodbye for now.